he had at Alabama could have simply been avoided if they would have taken their time and said, look, we need you to sit down for 4 to 6 weeks. But it was more important for them to cut that boy open and let him play and potentially let him play than allow him to wait and heal because they wanted to win a national championship. With that being said, he was taking a beating. Their offensive line was playing like trash. This kid is supposed to be their future. So the coach said, nah, man, you going to sit down for this one. And if we win, you cool. And if you not, that's cool too. And I totally agree with Brian Flores. The reason I afford Brian Flores this type of cachet is because 365 days ago, a little more than 14, 16 months ago, everybody named mama and their mother's uncle was saying, Brian Flores is a dumbass. Look at him. We don't know what the fuck going on with Brian Flores. Brian Flores this. And everything, and I'm not trying to pat myself on the back, but everything that Brian Flores did has worked up until this point. When your offensive line is playing like trash, you got a quote-unquote fragile young quarterback, physically fragile young quarterback, coming back off a horrific hip injury that we questioned if he was going to ever be able to play football. I'm not leaving my young guy out there to take that beat neither. It's easy to sit back and say, hey, man, but they could have won. Or he could have got hurt, and then the whole world would be sitting around right now saying, why did Brian Flores leave him in with him taking that beat? Why not just put Fitzpatrick in? The reason the reason he took Fitzpatrick out is because Fitzpatrick is a bum. He gets real hot, and then he gets cold as ice. Every year he does this. He's been doing it for the last 10 or 15 years. He is the perennial backup quarterback. Like they used to say back in the day, everybody's favorite player is the backup quarterback. So, yeah, he was looking good. He was doing this. And guess what? Since Tua has been in, they have not missed a beat. So, if this kid has been looking solid in practice and you want to put him out there, then go ahead, put him out there. And if you see him taking a beating that he shouldn't have been taking, take him out. Don't let the kid get beat up. Don't bruise his ego. And if I'm correct, that means the homie Brian Flores went over there and said, yo, you know what, man? It's not your day. It's not nothing against you. We're gonna regroup next week and come back. You got 5 sacks last week. He was sacked 5 times last week. You don't want a young dude who's been getting hurt on a regular getting sacked 5 times. And contrary to popular belief, the Denver Broncos defense has been showing up all year, even though 60% of that team is on the injury reserve.
I got a question in regards to this. What was their pass to run ratio?
Let me look it up. I made a mistake and hit the button. That's why y'all heard the damn commercial being played.
I thought your kids came over.
I ain't no kids. Not no kids.
I thought you had some like the last
Yeah,
week or two.
No.
You had one of those alien babies.
I'm not sure what their run to pass ratio was, but again, you're right. But again, I don't see Brian Flores until I pull it up. I'm looking it up right now. Until I see it, I'm going to argue that Brian Flores traditionally runs a tight ship.
Well, let me ask you a question, though. Buffalo has a good defensive line as well, and they have to play them again. Now, my thing is, if you run into, because they're going to run into issues with the offensive line, because once again, they're actually a year ahead of the rebuilding phase, if you think about it. So is he going to take him out every time he run into a little trouble like this?
Did he take him out because he ran into a little trouble, or did he take him out because he...
Give me out. Now, granted, Chubb and that defensive line was getting clean hits on him, which means that could have been something that maybe they could have swung some help over there to that left tackle or something, but are they going to take him out every time he struggled like that, though?
Did they take him out because he was struggling?
The game was still in question when they benched him.
Did they take him out because he was struggling, or did they take him out because he was taking a beat?
I don't know. They never gave any indication. That's why I was asking. Did they take him out because he wasn't reading the coverages right and he was allowing himself to get sacked?
I would say
he wasn't picking up the blitz. Or did they take him out because
AT&T's Black Friday sales event is here, and it's our best offer of the year. Save $500.
I would pick the latter of the two. Simply because
he gave clarification on it. All he said was that he was
to the right, back control.
The reason I would say that is because exactly what you said. If you got defensive linemen getting clean hits on your quarterback, that means your offensive line is playing like trash. And if your offensive line is playing like trash and you got a young quarterback, why force him into the Derek Carr world or the Carson Wentz world, Deshaun Watson world, where you get sacked 70 times in 16 games? I'm going to protect you from that. Because all I know is all those dudes that sit on TV right now that said Brian Flores did the wrong thing, what they did, it was a 2-1, 38 to 17 total rushes and 38 passes. But all those guys that said that Brian Flores did the wrong thing, those very same people would have been on TV today saying, see, Brian Flores don't know what the hell he doing. Brian Flores, see, he's a rookie coach. An experienced coach would have took the young quarterback out and not let him get beat. See, we can't live, I'm not saying you, but we can't live on both sides of that critical fence. Either he don't know what he's doing, or because he let him stay in and get hurt. Joe Burrow, they shouldn't have been letting him throw it that much because that line is porous, Joe Burrow. Brian Flores should have let him hang in there because the game was in the balance, even though his line is a damn turnstile at this point. We got to pick a struggle. We can't live in both of those worlds. That's all I'm saying. Because if Joe Burrow got hurt because his offensive line was terrible and they shouldn't have been letting him throw the ball as much, when you take Tua out, how does, in the same scenario, how does Brian Flores get criticized? I'm listening.
hindsight. All hindsight. That's all it is. Because at the same fact as you saying it, more so, Joe Burrow could have kept taking that beat. Had he not tore his ACL, he'll be out there next Sunday.
But they have been saying this about Joe Burrow since week 1. Why are they letting this boy throw the ball 40 times a night? He's going to get hurt. You putting your quarterback in danger. So how do you sit on TV Monday morning after saying that for 10 weeks and say, see, we told y'all weeks ago, we told y'all since week 1, they was going to put this boy career in jeopardy, letting him throw the football like that. And those exact same people sitting on TV saying, why he take out Tua even though he was taking a beating? Because he was doing, Brian Flores was doing what y'all said the coach in Cincinnati should have done. You can't straddle that fence. Either the dudes in Cincinnati were wrong or Brian Flores was wrong. The dudes in Cincinnati can't be wrong, and then you do what they saying do, you do what they should have done in Cincinnati, either pull the rein back or sit the boy down, and you get criticized too. You can't criticize me for both things. This is not one, in my opinion, this is not one of those things when you can say two things can be true.
All right. I'm with you on that one. It is. I'm with you. I agree completely. We're asking for Tua to be safe. Well, we don't know why he did it, but you said he got beat up. Joe Burrow been getting beat up all year. They ain't even thought about taking him out. But now they forced to take him out. So you're right. We can't condemn the Bengals and praise the Dolphins. It don't work like that. You can't have them both ways. No,
that's all. I'm just trying to figure out How do you live on both sides? You know, you can't live in the middle of the road on that. Ravens, next up. Speaking of, we're going to stay in that same division, the Cincinnati Bengals. The Ravens were the most dynamic offense. They had the league MVP last year. This dude was the future of football. And now they look like the damn Bengals.
Man, we say I fell off like bad dope. I'm sorry, Dale. I know you listening. I love the Ravens, but they are getting they face kicking at this point. Even the games like when it was just a week and things like that, where it came down to that last second interception, they could have lost that game. So it's like they won a lot of games in those last seconds of the game where it could have went either way. And I guess that's what, keeping their name, because they're getting in the win column. But now they're taking them in the loss column, and it's looking a little shady over there. Looking a little shady. A little shaky, boss. A little shaky.
Man, I think it's a combination of, Ingram was hurt, and the NFL is, you got to switch it up, man. They offensive coordinator, I don't know if he's only running the plays that Lamar can actually process, but even Lamar that said that they offense predictable, like people be knowing what they about to call when he come up to the line. So I don't know. They still have time to try to get it straightened out, but yeah, they can't. It's like they receivers can't get open either, man. I don't know, man. Maybe they just need to. Plus, they missing a couple of. I think they missing their tackle as well too, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean that can factor into it as well, but I think our offensive coordinator just needs to switch up the plays, man. I don't know, man.
I said this. If I said this,
I can't explain it.
I can. If I said this once, I've said it 10,000 times. You're looking at a situation where as the coach is a piece of trash. He's been winning on talent alone. They're really missing Ozzie Newsome at this point. They have zero depth on the team, and if Deacon Dale could refute this, I love it. I love to hear his comeback because Deacon Dale he's well versed at this. But I think this is a situation whereas this is why 2 years ago, Lamar Jackson had to save Jim Harbaugh's job. This is why 4 or 5 years ago, they go on the run of a lifetime with Joe Flacco and save Jim Harbaugh's job. The team is not tough anymore. Now, this is something they've been saying on TV all week, and I would admit it because all I know is this. This is high school. This is college. This is pro. If you come to my stadium and stand on my emblem in the middle of the field, it's time to throw some hands, or it needs to be some furniture moved. It needs to be some pushing and shoving going along. And the fact that the coach is out there ready to fight and the team is standing on the sideline like, yeah, look at the coach. That's a lack of continuity. 2, why didn't you? You got film on us now. That means it's time to switch the game plan up. And when you switch the game plan up, you get different and better results. I understand. I don't think this is a situation to whereas Lamar can't process anything because every year of Lamar Jackson's career that I've been paying attention to him, and I go back to the Louisville days, I watched him as a freshman in Louisville, like, man, dude, like a little bitty Michael Vick type dude, because I thought he was a smaller guy. Then he got better his second year, his third year, the next year, he wins the Heisman. And then he even got better his third year in college, which is the year that he left. And nobody really gave him credit for it because he wasn't winning the Heisman. He actually statistically got better. This lets me know that Lamar Jackson is doing everything he can to be a better quarterback. He is not being coached properly. I am not of the school of blaming the players. Sometimes it's not the Willies and the Joes. Sometimes it's the X's and the O's. I have heard people like Deacon Dale, Harbaugh, and he just said in the chat, Harbaugh has lost the team again. I've heard people like Sports and Hills, and I've heard, just talking on Twitter.